Hello and welcome to the Flatchat podcast. Today, Australia and New Zealand put aside their rivalry as we bring in an official figurehead of New Zealand to talk about his company and media operation, Hazza Media, and one of the team managers of New Zealand sim racing, Harry Edwards.
This is the 8 Scopes.
The Flatchat podcast, the 8 Scopes edition. The Flatchat podcast, the 8 Scopes edition.
2019!
But for now, we're going to talk about last night. JC, mate, one of the biggest races of the year, round 1 for Scops at Montreal. We saw some damn exciting action last night.
Yeah, hey Chris. Yeah, it was. How good was it? It was so relieving to get the first round out of the way. I'm sure that the broadcasters felt the same, and none other than the drivers would have felt that pressure. I reckon last night there was a few kind of, I don't know, it was pretty tense at times. But how good was the safety car and all that kind of stuff? It was really good.
Oh man,
for the series.
But I'll tell you what, I'm definitely a fan of that format. I know that I was in the second split race, so I know it worked very well there in the second split. Top split, there was a little bit of, I suppose, growing pains, we'll call it, where a couple of people, I'm not sure if they were on the wrong channel or whatever, but didn't really receive the message that there was a safety car, which caused a little bit of havoc. But yeah, look, I'm definitely a big fan. We spoke to a few of the people involved in some of those incidents later yesterday, and they said that, look, yep, growing pains, but they're definitely a big fan of the format. Yeah,
the format was great. I mean, specifically the safety car thing. I think that obviously there were issues. And look, guys, we're going to cover this off in our next video feature for the Scop series. This podcast tonight with Harry from New Zealand Sim Racing is going to be something that we want to do every week. Not necessarily Harry every week, although that would be great, but just a podcast that's dedicated to just iRacing in general. The Scops thing is such an important thing for us, and it's such a build up with the video stuff we've been doing, Chris. But I'm glad we can just sit down and kind of lay back and relax and just have a chat with Harry tonight. But yeah, like the video stuff that we're going to put out is going to cover way more in detail what happened at the Scops event. Yeah, but I'm really happy with how it went with the safety car specifically, and Phil Sell winning in an ERT car. You know, I think
what a surprise.
Yeah,
not really. I mean, congratulations as well to Jared Filsell, who today wrapped up his position in the World Championship in the Porsche Cup series. Really looking forward to seeing how he said he's going to give it a big lob, and we're hoping he does nothing less.
100%. Yeah, good on you, Jared. That's great, mate, and we'll all be watching that for sure. Yeah,
so he got his first win. Look, I just want to make a real special comment for a couple of the drivers, probably people that I thought did really well. The winner of the Split 2 race, Ryan O'Sullivan for ERT, he finished, I think it was 12th in top split. So he showed that he definitely deserved his spot in that top split and deserved his race in Split 2.
Yeah, mate. How good was that? ERT was just on the board with everything yesterday, weren't they? I mean, there was just ERT cars everywhere, every split. Ryan.
Yeah, they went 1-2 as well. Ian Ford, second place.
Yeah, that was really unexpected. But I got to say, though, driver of the race, again, speaking about ERT, for me was Egg. Sorry, Ethan Griggold. I know that he doesn't like to be referred to as Egg. But yeah, how good was that? ERT just wiped him clean for both splits. And Ryan, not only did he win that second split race, but he came through the field and got a really good position in the main game as well, which is super impressive. Not that I haven't heard of him. I know Ryan's name for sure, but he's definitely not one of your kind of standout ERT drivers pre-last night's race. But now, look out, you know. You're going to have to do a lot of work to beat some of these second split guys, Kessie. I know that you had high hopes, mate, but yeah.
Well, that wasn't as good as I thought.
That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, look, it wasn't that good, but, you know, stuff happens and it's only round 1. I'm looking forward to seeing how. I mean, I was really happy that I got the chance to see round 1 broadcasted, because it was, number one, a really awesome broadcaster, some really good highlights and promotional videos I had going as well, which is, you know, obviously it's apparently just the start. Jay posted up that there's more to come, so that's there's definitely more to come. I just want to touch on one more driver who I thought was really, really good for a lot of the race. Unfortunately, didn't finish the way he wanted to, but Brett Loxton. I haven't seen someone take it to Jared Filsell like he did. for a lot of that race at the beginning of the race. And hats off to Brett Loxton. He was one of the most improved drivers last year, and he did an awesome job for Zuva Racing last night.
Yeah, no, of course. Seriously, what a drive from Brett. That was absolutely amazing. Jared wasn't exactly lacking in pace or anything. It's not like he was slowing up or anything. I mean, I do know that Jared drives in a certain way to either conserve fuel, tyres if he's in the lead, but I don't think that Brett's charge and his chase down of Jared was any it was just Brett was absolutely on fire. I think that's what the case. He's just his pace and momentum he's brought from last season into this season is so clear. And I mean, I would put even nearly guarantee him to get a race win this season if he keeps going the way he does. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Look, if he goes in every race with the same amount of passion and energy like he did last night, there is no doubt that he'll be a race winner this year.
Sorry, Cassie, I do need to make sure that they've spelled his name right, because Chris, Chris, is that how you spell Theon Greyjoy from Game of Thrones? Because, mate,
I'm not
he
sure.
looks exactly like Theon Greyjoy.
Yeah, maybe. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Pretty famous figure there, so...
That's it, mate. That's it.
Yeah, and look at the thing. What happened to Brett was that he got bitten by the slowdown curse at Montreal, which a couple of people got bitten by. I'm not going to say his name. Dane Warren got bitten by the slowdown curse.
Not mentioning any names. Dane Warren.
Wow, it was almost heartbreaking to see how many he lost. I sort of tried to figure it out. I think he lost 20 seconds in slowdowns during the race. And I think he finished 25 seconds behind the leaders. So
there you go. He would have been in the top 5 easily.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yep. But
it's learning, mate. It's like Dane is one. If you see him driving on track, some of the things. What would you call him? I want to say the word mistake, but Dane Warren is so ridiculously talented that he'll turn a mistake into a move, or he'll turn a mistake into something that looks like it was meant to be. Like.
He did it a couple of times at the second chicane where I was like, oh no, this is going to be a crash, and he pulls off a move. Like what?
In that car, which the car is an absolute just nightmare to drive, and he can do things with it that make it look like it's supposed to be in the chili bowl.
Yeah, well, I think that might move us on to our guest tonight, Harry from New Zealand Sim Racing and Mr. Hazza Media himself. Harry, thanks for joining us, mate.
Oh, thank you for letting me come on. It's a big pleasure to come on here.
Yeah, we were just referencing the Chili Bowl and Dane Warren sideways action at Montreal, but hopefully we can chat a little bit about that and get away from the whole Scops thing, because you seem like you're a man of two realms. You got your sprint car stuff and also the Hazard Media stuff, and definitely want to kind of delve in and talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's a bit on my plate. A few things. You got New Zealand Sim Racing, the Miami Racing, and then Hazard Media. So there's a few things I do.
Well, tell us about first your Hazard Media. If you've been seen around a fair bit, you've done videos for some pretty big teams, and not excluding New Zealand Sim Racing, which has 1 million members. I think that's the official count. one in three Kiwis.
I think it's 8.3.
Well, welcome to everyone at New Zealand Sim Racing too. If anyone's listening for the first time or anything, thank you very much for tuning in, listening to your man Hazza. So hopefully we get some good follows and of some New Zealand Sim Racing. Because I mean, Chris, you just said it, mate, that your community, Harry, it's ridiculous in size. Like, and you kind of, I guess, run the show in a way by having the team set up and getting everyone involved in not just the New Zealand community, but over in Australia and the worldwide too. Yeah, what's the story, mate, with New Zealand Sim Racing and the mammoth bloody lot you've got over there?
Well, like, we got a team, and then we also got a community. So with the community, we create races, so we create series, and that has, we have to create formats and do this, make rules and stuff. And then we also got the team side, so you got to organize the whole team, make sure they have skins and everything, and make sure they're all happy in the right spot and the right time. So yeah, I only came on to New Zealand Sim Racing a couple of years ago. I wasn't there from the start, to be honest. I only came in halfway. through the R Factor days, and then we were involved to.
Oh, that's a swear word in this.
Yeah,
in this,
can you censor that word out?
format.
Do we
sorry.
keep it out?
I don't really like saying that word anyway. I don't like R Factor. It's just nightmares. That thing, nightmares.
Yeah, well, definitely. You've got a huge community. I think what I worked it out. So it's not 1 million, actually. I apologise for that. That was an incorrect fact. It's not quite 1 million. It's about 2,500 people in your community when you combine your two pages, and it speaks volumes, I suppose. I'd say, and I think we were chatting a little bit earlier, Harry, and I think racing. Would you agree that racing is probably the second most popular sport in New Zealand?
Yeah, I say so. It definitely comes rugby first, and then probably racing. Yeah, we do a lot of racing here,
particularly sprint racing. I just noticed there's so many people in the iRacing community, a lot of which are members of New Zealand Sim Racing, that do the dirt sprint racing. I'm not really an expert on the subject, but maybe you could tell us about.
Yeah, we have a few drivers. So we have, we have Brayton Davison, the owner of NZSR. He's a midget driver. If you're in the community, they're normally either a crew member or they're a driver. There's Aaron Hodgson, Aaron Humble, Mark Reardon, he's a crew member for BSR Racing. We've got Brad Mosen, Brett Junior Morris, Matt McCutcheon. It just keeps going and going. There's so many drivers that actually race these cars in real life, so it's kind of cool to have, real life drivers come race, the fake thing.
Well, that is something that I have noticed too, Harry, that in New Zealand with the sim racing scene and your particular setup with New Zealand sim racing, compared to Australia or other places in the world, I don't get this kind of gamer vibe of your community as much so as other communities. Like you said, so many of the guys are actually real world racers and quite staunch about their racing, and I think that obviously would translate into the sim as well. But I definitely don't get a kind of in inverted commas coming from a video game type of background where with your guys. It seems like a real hardcore racer type of environment, which is totally cool, man. It's good to bring that into the scene.
Yeah, definitely. We got a few we've also got Shane Vegas, and he always comes out and races with us.
Who's that?
Who?
Sorry,
Shane Van what?
Shane Van Gisbergen.
I don't know who that is.
We'll Google it later, Cassie. We'll find.
Oh well, look, how many? I got to say that guy is, and you got to say hats off to that guy. He is in every community known to man. He drives absolutely everything.
Yeah.
He is a man that was born to race, and that's what he does. Whether it's in real life, in GT3s, dirt cars, whatever he feels like driving on the day. Obviously supercars, but does the same in sim racing. How often do you see him on?
He's and the annoying thing is he's good at all of them.
He's so fast.
Oh, he's
a born racer.
Oh, definitely. I don't know how he does. He just jumps in a car that he's never driven before. He's good at it. I remember a long time ago, I was doing a wingless sprint cars, and he qualified at the back of the pack, and then came to feature time. He was at the back of the pack. It was the last 5 laps, and I'm leading this race, and then last 5 laps, I just see him come in front of me and pass me and gone. I'm just
Sam,
what happened?
He's just one hand on I can just imagine him, one hand on the steering wheel, waving as he passes you.
Basically, yeah. I don't know. He just he's a bit rough at the start, but once you give him a few laps, he just picks it up and he's gone.
And you've seen him do that in real life. He does that when. For example, Triple Eight will be talking about how bad their setup is, and then next minute Van Gisbergen only qualifies, 17th, which we've seen a couple of times, and then next minute he's on the podium.
Yeah,
he just gets used to what he's given.
Remember Barbagallo last year? I think he was 20th or something, or 18th. He started.
Look, you can name every track on the circuit, and he's just one of those drivers that can just go through the field once he gets used to it.
Well, speaking of SVG. And his driving, and you say he jumps into plenty of different cars. One of the different series, or I guess the type of race things that he does would be drifting, and that's really big in NZ compared to over here in Australia for sure. I've seen him in plenty of different drift cars, even that Holden one they made up. But over there for you guys, is it just a matter of just getting an old unregistered kind of something Japanese?
Yeah,
basically
just
turbo on it.
Yeah, get something, put put a bucket seat in it, go out to the days, like, because there's so many, like, especially in Auckland, there's, like, you got Mary Raceway that have a drift park that basically, like, most weekends, like, you can go there, pay an entry fee, you can go drift whatever you want. And then you also go down at Hampton Downs, you got Mad Mike, who just puts on drift days there as well, like, every, like, month or so when he's home. But, like, yeah, there's just so much access to, like, tracks and stuff, so you can just get anything you want, put it on the track.
It kind of reminds me of like the community where if you were into like RC cars, you know, like fuel cars, and you just go to the store, you build your car up, you go down the park and just get a bit of a meet up and get some RC cars onto a track. The same type of relaxed vibe, I guess, that I can sense for you guys over in NZ. We certainly don't have that type of access to racing over here in the same way.
Yeah.
It's not the same kind of thing. You really
We probably have the same amount of circuits as you guys, but you guys are about 15 times smaller. So
Yeah.
you guys are always close to a racetrack. So
Yeah. Yeah. I was lucky enough to come over to Sydney and go to the World Time Attack.
Oh yeah,
and go watch that.
Eastern Creek.
That was cool. That was a cool little thing to do.
Well, next time you do so, make sure you hit us up.
Oh
we
yeah,
can meet up,
definitely.
have a brewski.
Oh,
do
for
do
sure.
a live podcast. Yeah.
Live.
No, that'd be awesome. We got so many people around Sydney, so if anyone else is listening in Sydney, drop us a line and let us know, because we're trying to organise a bit of a meet-up, aren't we, Cassie?
Yeah. Oh,
Sydney iRacing meet-up, that'd be awesome.
yeah. There'd be some scary individuals turn up, I think. JC, you're going to turn up in person, so
Yeah, right. No, very scary.
it should be good fun. Yeah, so over to your media stuff, Haz. So tell us a little bit about Hazza Media, how you got started, and you know what exactly you get involved with there.
So kind of like, I think how I started was I just, like, one of my friends had like a DSLR camera and just kind of just picked it up and kind of was intrigued by it, kind of liked what, like, you know, filming stuff, taking photos and stuff, and, you know, I started filming a lot of things and, you know, making videos and, you know, like, just creating. I got really involved in it. And then I had, like, my brother's friend did drifting. And so I started filming him and stuff, got really into motorsports, and then that kind of one thing to another, got into speedway, started filming speedway, and it kind of just kept growing and growing. I was buying more gear, I was, you know, getting more jobs, I started getting jobs, getting paid for stuff, and, you know, one thing led to another. I had Hazza Media, had, you know, websites, I had clients, and I was doing heaps of jobs and stuff, so it was kind of fun.
So you mainly, so through the sim racing platform, you've done some stuff as well. Through, I think you've done some videos for Redback Racing and the like, and obviously for New Zealand Sim Racing.
Yeah, so I've done stuff for Redback Racing. Who else have I done? Yeah, our team, and then also, like, just, I think I did a few, like, little jobs for other people, but kind of backed up at the moment, kind of just focusing on life at the moment on Speedway and stuff. So once Speedway's done, I think I'll be back into it.
Because the more we hype up and pump your media kind of business, everyone's going to start contacting you. So a bit of a disclaimer: Harry's not available for like a couple of weeks. Just relax. Because I know personally people who have been trying to knock on your door and get stuff done, like on a very quick turnaround, and you're so backed up at the moment with work, so you might have to start employing some people. I know our other co-host Matthew Norris is trying to get into video editing too.
Yeah,
but he might not be very good though. That's the only thing. You have to pay him like $5 an hour.
Yeah, if that.
I don't know if that's legal in New Zealand, but anyway,
Nah, it's not.
it's not now anyway.
They pay. It's a barter system with woolen jumpers and clothing.
So there we go. There's the first one.
Is that the first New Zealand joke of the night?
It's the
Yeah.
first
We've waited
one.
20
We waited
minutes. That's shocking. Oh, far out.
We'll just have like a little tally in like a corner or something of how many New Zealand jokes.
Yeah, that was our joke, and now Hazza, at some point you got to knock one in there too.
Yeah,
Go tit for tat.
hopefully. I won't probably say one. I'm too nervous.
Oh dear. But the media stuff you've done, the first video I ever saw of yours was the Redback one where they introduced the LeBlanc livery with that orange kind of look to it. I think it was around when Richard Hampstead started doing stuff with Redback. And that video really blew me away, man. I mean, the quality of the shots that you chose, it showed me that you have a very detailed understanding of cinematography as well as the actual technical means. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people with, say, Adobe Premiere or whatever, and can just go to an iRacing replay. And there are really good creators out there in our community for sure. There's quite a few. But anyone can just get on iRacing, save a replay, go and look at some camera angles, put on, the TV camera or whatever, press record, stick it in a Premiere, and that's a video. But you are very much, part of this, very creative with the way that you choose your shots, and the videos are not just your run-of-the-mill video. They're very high quality. So, yeah, good on you, man. And hopefully you get some space to do some more work, because with your kind of work, it can only grow our iRacing/sim racing community to have more credibility. So I hope more people can step up and maybe even look at some of the work you've done to try and get some ideas too, so we can get this growing. Because like I say, hands down, your work is very, very good, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
So did you study this kind of stuff to get the knowledge you have with these kind of shots and the editing and everything?
I kind of did. So like the first couple of years, like it was all self-taught. So like everything, so Photoshop and Premiere Pro was all self-taught. But not last year, but the year before, I did a diploma in digital media and design. So that was more, it was like animation and stuff. Like when I did it, I kind of knew all the Premiere Pro stuff, but you don't know everything. So I got to learn a few more things. So that kind of helped me out. But yeah, that's really it. Just mostly self-taught though, to be honest.
That's the secret then, JC. Maybe you need to head off to. No, I'm joking, JC. You've got to
stop relying on YouTube searches. How to make a sick video. I just searched that.
No, I've done a bit of that as well, but not sick video, more specific things.
Yeah. How to make Chris Kessie's car look like it goes faster. No, I haven't found that one yet. I can't find that.
Oh, that's easy. You just right click on it and go duration speed, and you just turn it up.
Yeah, just fast forward.
My car always looks fast. It's just unfortunately the person behind the driver's seat just doesn't live up to delivery. Yeah,
get a better driver.
Yes, Chris Kessie. Yeah, mate, that's great though. It is great, but it's also not great that you're so backed up, because what?
I'm kind of just like,
maybe you got to start charging more, mate. That's the key. That's the key. When you start getting backed up, mate.
Model.
Yeah, turn people away, so I have less work.
Yeah, exactly. Nah. You got to start turning down those $1 offers, Hazza.
Yeah, I gotta stop doing that.
What do you mean my promo video is going to cost $10,000? What do you mean?
It's kind of hard. It's so hard to how much you want to charge someone, because I don't know, because I know how much to charge people in real life, because I speak to other photographers and videographers on how much do you charge for this kind of work and stuff. But when I came to iRacing, no one did this stuff, and only a few people, but no one that I knew. So I was like, oh my gosh, how much do I charge these people? And I was like, I don't want to charge them full price, because that's expensive.
Well, the other thing though, you got to keep positive mind about it, Has, because let me tell you, sim racing is definitely coming a long way. It is growing massively. You said that and we've talked about this a couple of podcasts ago, but about how much money is now being put into some of these series. It is definitely growing to a point where legit money is going to be required for sponsorships. It's going to be required for media stuff to be done, and it's definitely become a lot more reputable in the last 12 months. And mate, I would definitely keep my head down, because I mean the community needs people like you. I know that there's a few out there. You got Sam Blacklock as well, working on photo stuff, and look, there's definitely room for people to get involved in this kind of area, and with someone with your expertise, mate, we're definitely looking forward to seeing if you can get some of those backlogs out of the way, and hopefully help grow the community.
Yeah, I kind of when I go and charge people how much, I kind of undercut myself, because I want the person to have the video, because I know there's not really many people out there that do my job, and if I do a good job, they normally come back. So,
and you never know exactly what phase. Well, I mean, sometimes it's difficult anyway to tell what phase you're in, as far as wanting the exposure versus the price or value you put on yourself, because we're in a phase of sim racing where everything is growing. So more exposure is better for the future, but at some point you have to put a value on yourself too. But there are so many different extremities of people in the community. Of, say, a video for just a standard team run by some young blokes who think that $20 a video is like that's pretty that's a great go. But then I always think that maybe the best and most ethical way to do it is just to look at exactly who your client is.
Yeah.
For someone like Kessie or me, and we're just super poor, $50 a video is fine. But then if you deal with Jamie Goodnight, that same video is $2,000. That's exactly the most ethical way you can do it. I believe.
Yeah, that's how I kind of look at it. You just look at the person, and you're like, oh, so
Yeah. You got to read how much is in your bank account.
Yeah.
It's a very old-fashioned style of selling.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry, Jamie. That definitely was a joke. We charge you $5,000 for that video, mate.
Yeah. 5.5 actually.
Yeah.
GST.
Okay,
yeah, we've got the GST over here too, Hazza.
No, New Zealand it's 20%, I believe.
Oh, heavy.
It's a lot higher over there than it is here.
Well,
15% is your
it's 15,
tax,
yeah. Like GST and stuff, 15%.
So why do you guys all move over here? I don't understand.
I don't know, probably because it's hotter and bigger. I don't know. Probably you guys have the V8 Supercar series, probably.
True. We do have Pukekohe, but yeah, we've got. I've met up with a
just Pookie.
Just Pookie. Oh, is that it? Just Pookie?
Oh yeah, just Pookie. It's not really a great track, to be honest. Oh, it's a good track, but the facility.
Are you close to Pukekohe? Do you get a chance to go out there?
Yeah,
often?
I actually went to the race there. I actually got hired for a job there, so I got
awesome.
3 days all free for me. So that was
yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm only 40 minutes from there, so not that far.
That's awesome. That's like, so you must live at the bottom of the North Island then. There's 40 minutes. It's only a short trek up to Auckland, isn't it?
No, I'm in Auckland. It's like 40 minutes from Auckland.
I'm joking.
Oh.
He's like, yeah, stroll up the entire island in an afternoon.
Yeah.
It was a bad dad joke about how small New Zealand is.
It went straight through me, eh? Sorry, I
didn't get it either, Harry. Don't worry. I didn't understand that one. Chris, why don't you just read off the list of the New Zealand jokes instead of trying to freestyle them all?
You should have gone like a little bit more further than bottom of the North Island. You should have been like bottom of the South Island. Like,
Yeah, maybe.
Then I would have got it.
I once had this girlfriend from the South Island of New Zealand, and we broke up. And it was a really sad moment in time. I was like, "Look, let's just be cousins again." But look, Harry, tell us about your That's 2 in the bag for us, mate. I haven't heard an Aussie joke come back yet.
2.5 with Kissie's one.
That was a quarter.
2.25, yeah.
So, Hazza, tell us about some of your guys over there in New Zealand sim racing who are maybe having a run in the supercar, because our podcast is kind of catered towards the Scops supercar kind of community, I guess, although love to talk about everything else with you too. But you've got quite a few guys who are giving it a run, such as Kane Hewson, Perkins as well. What's the
Dion
situation?
Peters.
Oh yeah, it's Jamie Stovall. There's quite a few guys in the supercar who are pretty fast. Are you guys concentrating on that for this year?
Well, I try to keep up with all of them because that chat just goes off like, I come back, there's like 300 new messages and someone's doing something, but from as far as I know, I know Kane and Dion and Lance are on the Scops, so they're all in the Scops, focusing on that. I'm pretty sure Jamie is doing Scops as well, but I know the rest of them, so David Sarden, who else is there? Jeremy Thorpe, Mark Riodine, I think Josh Andrews does all the open wheel stuff, but I think he wants to do better Scops. But the rest of them do dev and everything like that. But yeah, That's really all I know. Hey,
Well, I gotta say, I can give you a little bit of an insight. So I have I'm on pretty good talking terms with Kane Hewson, and he was kind of one of the guys who lit up the team when it comes to road racing.
Yeah, definitely.
Really put a lot of effort into it. And New Zealand sim racing, I've got to say, in 6 months, I believe it would have been, they've come leaps and bounds when it comes to the supercar specifically. They had at one stage Kane and David Sanford, and that was pretty much it. When it comes to competing on the Scops level, and I mean David's doing his own thing now. Still definitely a part of the New Zealand sim racing community.
I wanted to ask Harry about your outcast illegitimate child David Sanford. What's happening now?
Buddy David. Came over to our team. Got our sponsorship, got a new wheel, and then he buggered off.
It's like all the other New Zealanders who move over to Bondi Beach in Sydney. It's like David, it did in the sim world, he virtually moved to Australia.
That's exactly it.
He basically did it. David's a great guy. He's a great guy. He lives in he lives in Hamilton. I don't know why he lives in Hamilton. No, he's a great guy.
Look, he's a big part of the sim racing community. I know he supports a couple of the teams out there with his company, Alpha Finance, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's an all-round good bloke. But look, I really want to say that congratulations to you guys, because in the last 6 months, you guys have, from a road standpoint, you guys have always been competitive on the dirt stuff. But from a road standpoint, Kane and Lance and you guys at New Zealand Sim Racing have definitely come leaps and bounds, and it's actually good to see. I mean, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you a little bit of a story. So yesterday, in the Split 2 race, I think it was Dion Peters. May or may not have sent it a little bit too far on corner 1, but he did the right thing and moved out of the way. So coming into the first corner at Montreal, everyone's going relatively slow, and next minute I see this New Zealand sim racing car just go flying past, and boom! I'm like, oh, he missed his braking marker. But I've got to say, like that, they've definitely come leaps and bounds. Hopefully we can see a couple more Split 1 appearances. I'm guessing if I was to pick a couple of drivers, Kane and Lance would be the ones to pick.
Yeah, definitely.
Bring it on, mate. Bring it on.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to speak to Dion tomorrow about that.
No. I don't know for sure if it was Dion. It could have been Kane or it could have been Lance. So who knows?
No, it's so good.
I know it was just this nice looking New Zealand sim racing livery that just.
Oh, the livery's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always. Got to thank Ryan for that.
Oh, okay.
Ryan who? Sorry.
Harris.
Ryan Harris.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan Harris.
He did TTL skins.
Ah, okay. Yep.
Oh, he did. Okay, we were finding out who that was. We were trying to figure out who that was. That's good.
Well, maybe Harry, just as moving on to some more videos talk. Cassie and I just put these, and Norrie too, Matthew Norris, put our faces on some videos to build up for Scops, and it's something that we kind of took a bit of a dive into, and not sure how it worked out, but we had a pretty good response from everyone, which was good.
Yeah.
But what effects and special effects can you make us look better? Because we're seriously look like a bunch of morons on a white screen.
Yeah.
What advice have you got?
Maybe just
Makeup?
the blur, like
So blur feature.
From what you told me, you said we got a free program off Google or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free program.
We're running at
webcam.
high budget stuff at the moment.
To be honest, from what you told me, you actually did a bloody brilliant job, to be honest, from what you had, from the resources you had. The only thing I could say is lighting. So you could see all the green around your hands. That's one picky thing.
We'll get rid of that this week. We figured it out after we finished.
Yeah, but all you gotta do is just go on YouTube and just look up how to green screen.
how to green screen good. Okay.
Yeah.
Or just how to set up lighting, because honestly, because I did green screen and stuff, and it is hard to set up the lighting and everything for a green screen, because there is a lot of reflection off it onto yourself and everything like that.
Well, I got to say, with our $50 budget, we did a decent job.
Yeah, you did a brilliant job, to be honest.
Pretty sure thanks, Harry. Pretty sure that our podcast or show financer Matthew Norris did extend that budget into the $100 $120, I believe. So
Yeah, and it was all on
It was-
baking paper, wasn't it?
baking paper, 150 watt night workers lights, and a shitty 5-year-old Logitech webcam. So, and a good old bucket of $25 green paint on the wall. We pretty much redecorated Kessie's walls. So
Yeah, I've got to start charging rent, by the way. All right. Well, I think we've gone off on a bit of a tangent then. So I think we might give it a bit of an ending now, JC. Harry, mate, thank you very much for joining us on the Flat Chat podcast. Have you got anyone you want to thank? Any sponsors, any teammates, etc.?
Oh, I have to get them up now. I've got them all. I just like to thank Speed Nation. Definitely Speed Nation. CT Designs. You got Ryan Harris's company. Oh my gosh, I forgot his. Trustmaster, Next Level. And that's really it. Alpha Finance as well. And also got to thank David for Brayton for letting me actually become part of NZSR all that time ago. So yeah, that's really it.
Hazard, before you go, just want to let you know about this bloke that we just heard about over in New Zealand. He is known to have, I think he's had over 1,000 lovers in his lifetime, and he is known as the New Zealand's Casanova, but most of all, a damn good shepherd.
Well, I think we might leave it there. Thank you for joining us on the Flat Chat podcast.
Sorry, apologies.